The English East India Company conquered the Indian subcontinent, and India ultimately became the brightest jewel in the crown of Victoria, Queen Empress. One of the innumerable consequences of this was that a number of Indians, especially a number of upper class Indians, developed a blind fascination for all things Anglo Saxon. And the first of these things was, of course, the English language. However, admirers of France point out that Napoleon Bonaparte called the English a nation of shopkeepers, and that French is a much more sophisticated language than English, that French culture is much more refined than English culture, that Paris is a much more magical city than London, that French upper class men are much more well dressed than English aristocrats, that French women are much more thin and good looking than English women. I think I better stop here. Be that as it may, you can provide an aura of sophistication to your writing by occasionally inserting a French word or a French phrase into your writing. And here are three French phrases which you can certainly find opportunities to use in your writing if you are a student of the humanities, if you are a student of literature. The first of these is a phrase which, if read in the English manner, would be read as peace de resistance. PIECE DERESISTANCE. I repeat, PIECEDERESISTANCE. But the French pronounce it as pièce de résistance. Pièce de résistance. It's one of my favorite French phrases. Pièce de résistance means the most important or the best of a series of things. If I have 7 cars and one of them is a Rolls Royce, the Rolls Royce is the pièce de résistance of my garage, the best or the most important of a series of similar things. This is how you can use it in a sentence. I personally feel that Grecian urn is the pièce de résistance of the Keatsian odes. I repeat, I personally feel that Grecian urn is the pièce de résistance of the Keatsian odes. The second French phrase we shall take a look at today is tour de force. TOURDEFORCE. I repeat, TOURDEFORCE. Tour de force. I don't think there is much of a difference between the English way of pronouncing it and the French way of pronouncing it. Perhaps the French would say tour instead of tour. Tour is a more English way of saying it. Tour is perhaps a more French way of saying it. What does tour de force mean? It means an artistic triumph. An artistic triumph. Your work of art which displays great strength, skill, or ingenuity. A work of art which displays great strength, skill, or ingenuity. A masterpiece. This is how you can use tour de force in a sentence. You may like it or you may dislike it, but you have to admit that the wasteland is a tour de force. I repeat, you may like it or you may dislike it, but you have to admit that the wasteland is a tour de force. The last French phrase we shall take a look at today is nom de plume. Nom de plume is not a very exciting phrase, but it's a very useful phrase. And you will certainly find a way to use it in your writing, especially if you are a humanities student, you are a literature student. Nom de plume. N-O-M-D-E-P-L-U-M-E. N-O-M-D-E-P-L-U-M-E. I don't think there is much of a difference between the French way of saying it and the English way of saying it. Nom de plume. Nom de plume. Nom de plume means pseudonym, the name under which a writer publishes his book. Pen name. Numerous writers in the English language used and continue to use pen names. So you can easily find opportunities to use this word. Here is an example. Samuel Clemens adopted the nom de plume Mark Twain. I repeat, Samuel Clemens adopted the nom de plume Mark Twain.